Okay, so I've never done this before, where I'm just going to record and talk and I'm not going to edit it, and I'm literally just me right now in my car in a park. I've got some tradies over there. They can probably see me, probably wondering what the fuck I'm doing. But I'm just going to be real for a bit. I also have the hiccups. But I had this urge to kind of jump on again on YouTube because I can talk a bit longer here, whereas on Instagram I feel like it's too long. Like there's so many videos to like, yeah, just to get a message across, you know? So I just want to like kind of sit and chat, but I don't want to make this long. Like I've sold all my YouTube stuff, so I can only upload on my phone, and there's like a limit to that, and it's so fucking hard to upload, so I'm just going to make this simple. Even this was too complicated, like that intro was just retarded. But anyway, I want to talk about a situation that came up for me yesterday, and it's the first time that it's happened in quite a while, and it just had me thinking a lot. And well, what happened was I had like a heated disagreement with my brother, my little brother, who's 14, so he's prime teenage years, you know what I mean? And of course it's like really hard to get across the teenagers these days, but like at the same time, like when I have kids, I aspire to have my kids like to not like victimize themselves and not kind of attach themselves to a problem and like kind of stick to that, you know what I mean? Like I would rather there be like peace and harmony, and I strongly believe like I will get to that when I have my own children. But being back with my family, who are very much still in their own way, and I'm very different because I've completely changed a lot of my views and my perceptions and stuff, so we just don't really align as much, so it's hard to kind of be on that same level that I am when they kind of don't understand that level, because they have their own level, which is respectfully fine. Not that any one level's better than the other, it's not, it's just that, you know, they're on their path and I'm on mine. But anyway, we had this like heated discussion. Wasn't even a discussion really, it was an argument, let's just say. And I did keep my cool as much as I could. Like I usually would have taken it so much worse than I did. But the whole topic about this is really it's taking responsibility for your actions and for your words and your feelings and everything. And that's what is a massive change for me, because in any kind of argument or situation that I didn't feel comfortable in, I would always feel like the other person was like attacking me, like the other person was blaming me and I was the problem, when in my head I was never the problem. They were always the problem, and that's pretty much always how it is with like most people, everyone. And it's not that way at all. It's more like what I aspire is to have two people seeing there's an issue and having that space to share both sides, to then come together and see like that medium, you know what I mean? So it's like we both have a story to tell from one situation. I have my story and you have your story. And how it goes when people don't work it out is my story's right and my story's right, and you're never going to see mine and I'm never going to see yours, so we're just going to clash, and then there's going to be a rift between us, and until we decide to talk again, you know? I feel like that's so uncomfortable. I feel like that hurts both people. I feel like that makes both people feel like they haven't been heard and that the other person kind of doubts them or thinks that they're like wrong, and no one likes to feel wrong. So I feel like it's just a whole lot of hurt and negative emotions and vibrations that are just no good and doesn't help anyone, doesn't help the situation, doesn't fix the situation. It just puts a break on it and we just go on with our lives and pretend like it kind of didn't happen. I hate that. And I think now, like, I've learned, and like, guys, like, anything I say is literally just my perception and my perspective and my experience. Like, this is not the be all and end all. Like, not one person can tell you how it is. Just remember that. Like, this is just from me, right? These are my words. But how I aspire to see that is, yeah, like I said, well, how to see past that is I have a story of what happened and you have a story of what happened, right? If we can just first respect each other for having a story, then that is the first step to being like, okay, cool, like, I have my experience and you have your experience. Like, instead of seeing it as, like, battling between each other, it's like, cool, let's just, like, kind of understand where each other's coming from. And then when you do that, you kind of understand why one person feels hurt and why you feel hurt. And when you both understand that, then it's like, okay, cool, so we both have a part here where we both feel hurt. Let's overcome that, right? Let's have compassion for each other to understand why you feel that way and what can we do now to make that better. Yeah? I don't know what that was. Because what I see a lot of, what I see a lot of is, like, it's victimizing. Like, we're both playing victim, and it's like, there's no victim at the end of the day. Like, and I hate that society has really, like, brought us up to think that there is such thing as playing victim, like, that one is right and one is not right, and it's always going to be the other person that's not right, and you're always thinking you're right. Yeah? We forget that this entire thing is about unity, and that we are all the same, right? Like, we all come from the same place. We're all here to do very much the same thing. We all have a purpose. We all have a path, a journey. We're all human in this lifetime. And we're focusing on the wrong things. We're focusing on who's right and who's wrong. That's complete separation of people, of humans, of being. But we're not separate. We are one. We are literally all a collective. Like, one. We are unity. Like, but we don't see that anymore. We don't live through that. We live through separate people and lives and beings, and that's where the problem is, right? Because we're so for fighting against each other, and that doesn't actually do anything. We always end up in the wrong when we do that. So I don't understand why we're still doing that, right? Like, it's about coming together at the end of the day. The nicest thing that you can feel in an argument would be happy feelings, right? Love or acceptance or being heard. Instead of hate and hurt and dislike and anger and frustration and upset and not being heard, right? So why don't we aspire to be more like the loving side? Because we're too brave and too proud to say, I'm wrong, sorry. This is what I was talking about with responsibility. It's about taking responsibility for your actions, right? And it's a hard thing to do because you've never been taught to do it. It's about being understanding about what you've done and understanding about what they've done or how they feel or how you feel, right? It's just about understanding. And where you might have seen it wrong, it's being apologetic for it. Being like, shit, man, sorry. Yeah, I didn't see that. But I get it. Like, I get how you can feel that way. Like, thanks for letting me see it like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing wrong with being sorry. There's nothing wrong with not understanding. It's not like you're wrong. You can never be wrong. It's just you don't understand. And there's nothing wrong with that. So I think once you get that stigma out of your mind that there has to be a right and wrong, because there's not. There's just stories. And when you understand both stories, and you understand the underlying feelings that come from both sides of those stories, you have compassion for each other to then understand, be heard, and fix it, and come to a medium where there's love again. Love and understanding. I feel like so much more would go down a lot nicer that way. We would have more resolved issues. We would get through them. We would learn the lesson from that experience and move on, move forward and grow and evolve. It's just a thought. And I kind of like just sitting here talking to you doing that. So if I have any more thoughts, then I'm going to do the same thing because I think it's real. I think it's definitely something that I've learned over the last year. And now I've experienced it, I definitely want to talk about it. So let me know what you think. It's something you should definitely learn to practice if you want. Not forcing, but if you want to. Alright guys, I'm going to the library. Peace out, Girl Scout.